Hi everyone and welcome in this month's video. This time I'm going to show you guys how I draw a new portrait with colored pencils, and I will explain a bit more on how I pick colors to my drawings. Here I prepared a few references and I will tell you how I think at the beginning about my colors. When I pick a reference, I usually already know what colors would I like to use. So for example, here you can see that the picture is in a very warm tones. So I would pick warm tones like in this cup. As you can see, this is pretty obvious example, but yeah, I would probably use mostly these colors. If I would like to use cooler tones, those would probably go into shadows, like in here. So I can see that these colors are kind of like in greenish tones. So I would probably use something like this or like this to create shadows here. But yeah, mostly it's made of very warm tones like peaches, rosy cheeks and red hair. Okay, so this is another example and it's also pretty obvious, I think. This picture is mostly created with cool tones, so this skin is like in very light cool tones, and hair are here like violet. You can barely see just few areas of warmer tones. Even though that this picture doesn't have like very much of warm tones, I would probably use more pink and like kind of rosy colors on the cheeks and on the nose, because usually the central part of the face is it's warmer. So with that knowledge, I can just apply that to my picture, even if it's not very visible on the reference. Here's another example. This is also in pretty cool tones. We have few parts of very strong pink color, like here on the bangs and on the cheeks and lips, but this is still pretty cool color. And also you can see here very obvious violet bluish tones. So yeah, I would probably pick something like this. Here it's very nice because there is a shadow and there is an outline of the light around it. So yeah, I think this is a very nice reference. But I would probably use mostly cool tones for that, and maybe I would still use warmer tones in the middle of the face. Okay, so maybe this one is less obvious, but I think no, it's still obvious. It's pretty warm. The light here is very nice and warm. You can see some highlights in very warm tones here. They kind of like match the lips. So yeah, I would probably emphasize this effect, and I would use very vivid, maybe not this one, but very vivid colors to show the lips and those free like curved lines. And otherwise I would use probably just brownish, very natural tones of the skin here. But also, as I can see on the reference, here around the lips you can see kind of like, I don't know if you can see this on the video, but I will attach also those references. You can see that here it's kind of like greenish. Here's also here as well. I can see some kind of like turquoise, I don't know how to pronounce it, but a turquoise shade like here. So yeah, you need to really focus on the reference and just try to see those colors, because they are already there usually. I'm not drawing like only from imagination those colors, but I can really see them here, and I just add more of them. Here you can see kind of like mix of warm and cool tones. I think it's a very nice picture. The background is in a warm, kind of like pink, but in a warm tone color. Also the nose is very, very warm, and lips as well, and eyelids. But you can see also very strong, cool shadow like in here. It's kind of like violet. Also the foam is, I don't know why she has like a foam hat. Here you can see that the color is like again bluish turquoise. Here you can see much warmer tones because it's in the light. So yeah, the direction of the light here is from this part. So all of the things that that light touches on this part of the portrait will be warmer, and those here in the shadow will be much cooler. So you can like divide your portrait into those two parts, and this part would be more cool and this will be more warm, and between you can, I don't know, you can blend colors, you can add other shades, something in between. You can desaturate your colors, whatever you like, but I will show you this on the drawings. This one is less obvious. The colors are pretty natural, I would say. So you can see the natural skin tone and natural color of the hair. They are pretty black. But also you can see many colors here. The reference is less obvious, but you can still find many colors on this type of reference. So you can see rosy cheek, rosy parts in this part of the nose actually, and here on the sides. You can see pink lips and kind of pink color on the ear, and in the shadow I will find here, I don't know, I think purples like in here, and also some green colors. They are kind of like not very cool, but yeah, cooler than the skin, and pretty warm tone in here, even though there is a shadow here. If you zoom your picture a lot, you will see that there is something like light purple line in here, and yeah, you can just zoom your picture and try to find those colors. They are not always obvious, but if you know the basic rules, that in the center face will usually be more warm and here will be cooler, then you have the base. So you can have fun with that. You can experiment. You can just decide if you want to, I don't know, create cool shadows as I do and warm lights, or the opposite, because many people draw the opposite on the face. So the shadows will be warm as in here, and the light parts will be cooler. Sometimes I decide to draw as usual with cool tones of the shadows and warm tones of the light, but sometimes I decide to do the opposite and I experiment with that. Also, the underpainting thing is important because you can start your picture with outline that is in color blue. Like I always start my pictures with very light color of the crayon, so I can erase mistakes. So even if you will choose like these colors, or you will choose to start with those, this decision will affect your drawing because it will be visible at the final piece. This outline sketch will be still visible even if you will cover it with many layers. So probably I would pick this color for those warm, to start with those warm, and this, oops, sorry, this to start with cool, to just keep the general vibe of the picture. So even if I will apply much warmer tones of the skin, the cool tones will be visible here from the sketch. And here the same rule. But of course you can break this rule and see what happens, you know, because in my last portrait I created a mix. Let me show you. So usually I use this one, I used this one, and the second one to draw details of the first sketch. And this time I decided to, you know, break this rule, and I made underpainting with this one, but at the second step I think I used this one. So my underlining was already a mix of those two colors. And yeah, I think I like this effect. I make decision each time when I pick the reference, and I just try to think what I feel, what color is the most important for me on the picture. So yeah, each drawing is different, and every time I use a little bit different colors. But actually someone asked me on Instagram in direct message, Gabi, I like your art, but why do you always use the same colors? And I was like, what? I didn't know I use always the same colors, but if I do, then maybe it's just my style and my preference. And yeah, I don't think that's something bad. But yeah, in this question it was suggested that I should use maybe other color palettes. But in my opinion, I use many different colors. Tak, pewnie. Hey, Diego. What you doing? He's afraid to jump to the window. Diego, nagrywam. Bye bye. Okay, so we can start. I will choose the less obvious picture, the last one that I showed you, and yeah, let's see what happens. I will mix also some examples of colors on one page, and I will draw the picture on the other one. Yeah, I think that might be helpful. Okay, so I think I will pick this one. I like the composition and angle of this face, and also that it has no such obvious colors, so I will be able to explain you more about my thinking process. Okay, so let's start. So I think I will start this time with more cool tone, maybe this. It's light aqua color. Yeah, okay, and as usual I will draw just the outline of the face, just general sketch very lightly. She'll have here the hair, and something like this. The central line is somewhere here because it's 3/4 view. Okay, eyebrows, blah blah blah, eyes, nose, lips. It always looks so funny at the beginning, like I couldn't even draw. But trust the process. You'll get there. It doesn't have to look good from the beginning. You just need to know what to do. Or even not, you don't have to always know what to do. Just keep on drawing. If something will be bad, you'll erase it. That's why it's important to start with very light lines. Okay, she looks kind of funny. I don't know if I wouldn't like to move her higher. I'll erase a bit of this part. Okay, let's try to find some proportions. She has like a big part of the face covered with bangs, like a half of the face, because eyes are in the middle of the face. It's important because we usually think that eyes are slightly above the middle part. Oh, not face but head. Okay, so they are in the middle of the head. Okay. Focus, Gabi, focus. You need to focus because you need to draw this before the sunset. I already have not a lot of light, but I hope you will see something. I mean, here the sketch is so light that... Do you see anything? No, you probably won't see almost anything, but be patient, please. The nose, she has very straight, nice nose. Okay, and here, this part. Okay, her lips start like the same line as the nose, so it's kind of helpful. Upper lip is kind of like pouted. Cute. Okay. Okay. And now the chin. So something that is usually difficult for me. Okay. Bang, 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 bang. Okay, now the eyebrows starts kind of like where the nostril is. Okay, and like this. Okay. Tomorrow. I'm not sure what I'm doing, as always at the beginning of the drawing. La 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 la. But yeah, I'm doing the underpainting, of course, the sketch, the first layer of the sketch. I think it goes quite okay. I was just drawing today some men portraits for you in digital, and I don't know, I think they weren't very good. I don't know, maybe I'm just too hard for myself, but yeah, because all the time I draw females and sometimes I just kind of forget how to draw men, even though I drew also many male portraits in the past. But yeah, lately only few, so it was difficult to draw. Also, it was difficult to draw digitally again. I don't know, when I don't practice something, I tend to forget many things. I don't know, the way I used brushes and everything. So my process is slightly different this time, maybe. I don't know. But I feel good to draw with pencil crayons, even though I'm not very experienced yet with colored pencils. Comparing to regular pencil, for example, or even digital, because I made many more drawings digitally than with colored pencils. But still, yeah, I think this medium is better for me now, and I prefer to draw in sketchbook. It's like my safe place. I really like it. Even though, of course, that I have many bad drawings in my sketchbook as well. I'll show you my my sketchbook tour, and you will see that I'm not proud of all of my drawings. I mean, I like them all because they are my journey, but they are not like pretty and Insta friendly, you know. Here's the bun. This crayon is kind of dark, like for the underpainting. I usually used lighter colors, but it's fine. It's still pretty light. Oh, I don't like this. Okay. Let's try again. I do want to draw her like with a duck face, but her lips are kind of like pouted, and there is a risk that they will look like kind of like ducky. Why do I have problems with lips so often? I don't know. I think I drew her face too wide. Let's check if I can correct this. Her ear is too pointy. Funny mistake. Okay, and here she has like more hair in this part. Okay, I think it's better now. Here she'll have like something like this, the shadow under the chin. Okay. I'll add her more than another bun in this part because it looked weird just with this empty space here, so I will add another one. I think it looks pretty well. Okay, so the first one was light aqua, and now I think I will use this mulberry. Maybe I will make a list here. So this is light aqua. It's mulberry. Okay, so let's add some darker details with this crayon. As you know, I like to create this double outline. And this draw line has it on the reference, I think. So, yeah. Let's show this. Okay, so let's try this pink. It's just pink. I'll add a bit on the nose where I can see it, around the eyes. Here is a spot of light, so I'll keep it without any color. I'm not sure about this pink color, but okay, it will be covered with other shades. Okay, I will use the violet one for some shadows. Lilac. It's lilac. Okay. This picture is now created mostly from very cool tones, so I will warm it up a little bit later because I don't want the picture to be very cool. I would prefer something warmer or even more natural. But right now I'm drawing only the shadows, so I will just mark them lightly with the lilac one. Shadow here, shadow there. I don't know about this eyebrow, but okay. Remember that the whites of the eyes are not completely white, so also use some shading there. Here's her color of her brow of her blouse. And it has a shadow there also. I think it's good to draw a base of similar shadows because it shows that they are like from one family, from one drawing, but also it's important to later add more variation to those shadows. This way picture will be more interesting for the viewer. So don't just keep, I don't just keep the cool shadows and warm lights in one color, but yeah, that's the base. And then I will add variations. Okay, and now what would I do now if I wouldn't be on the camera? Is it nice, the green color here, or it's not? I'm not sure yet, but maybe there is a bit of this green light here. But I'm not sure if it looks good on this picture. Anyway, this is, what is the, it's this one. I don't know this word. And I don't think I like this color, but it's a variation. I don't know. I will add some warm tones now because it looks weird to me. I prefer warmer pictures. Okay, so where do we have warm tones? Here, because there's a light. Here. I'm not sure about this color either. It was Orange Espanol. Maybe. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe. Maybe this is better, just orange. Okay, so now I'll add a little bit of voiceover to this video because I didn't feel like talking while drawing at this moment. I mean, it's a long process, so yeah, I usually don't talk all the time during my process. So, okay, now I'm adding the orange crayon. I started to add, I think my favorite tone to a portrait. So as I said before, the middle part of the face is usually with a reddish tinge because I think it's because the skin here is thinner and blood vessels are visible here. So the skin has this warm reddish tinge. Pale vermilion is a color that I add very often to paint lips. As you can see, I'm leaving rectangulars of light because I can see that on the reference in this spot there is light, so I'm just blocking it to keep it light. a bit more on the cheeks. This is one of my favorite colors of the crayons, and I often add it to shadows. So as you can see, I have few crayons that are few colors that are my favorites. I think it's the Orange Espagnol, Orange Pale Vermilion, and this one. So yeah, maybe person who wrote me a message that I always use the same colors was a bit right, because you know, I have my favorite colors and tools, so maybe it's just visible. I don't know, you tell me. This is a crayon that I very often use to add contours, dark contours. It's for me like, I don't know, 6B pencil if I were drawing with graphite. I often have a problem with the part between the lips. If they are like slightly open, then it often looks weird when you draw the line there. So yeah, you need to like try to create a line. I mean, I do it like this. I just draw a line and I see, does it feel like closed or open? Yeah, I just try and check what works. This crayon is also good for eyelashes, some parts of eyebrows. Here I'm drawing lines that show hair, but also shadow of the hair. I mean, it's visible mostly in those parts because the skin on the reference is very light and hair is very dark. So, as you know, I draw stronger lines when I can see a strong contrast between values. Here I'm adding the pupils. I will never learn how to say that word. Pupils, I think. And I often have a question in my head, like, should I add those pupils or should I keep only irises? Because I think they often look cool without pupils, kind of like cartoony. But eventually, I think I always add them. I don't know, I think the look is stronger then, maybe. So often when the character on my drawing, she or him, looks at the viewer, then I add maybe more stronger details to eyes to make the gaze stronger, if that makes any sense. I really like to add this orange color to this part of the cheek to make it, you know, with a blush. I'm erasing a bit of those dark lines. I think they are too heavy on this, you know, like light pastel sketch. This eraser is actually good for, even for pencil crayons, if there are not so many layers, then you can still erase some parts. When you draw with pencil crayons, it's actually painting. It sounds odd for me because I used to use word drawing on dry media and painting on wet media, but that's not the rule. You can draw with everything that has values but no color, so pencil, ink and charcoal, and you can paint with gouache, watercolor, oil paints and pencil crayons. You probably knew that, but yeah, it's always odd for me to say that I paint with crayons. I mean, because crayons are like something that kids use, right? And painting sounds so serious. I find painting with colored pencils very calming. I mean, I'm not very patient person and I love quick sketches. I love pieces that I can do quickly and see the results pretty fast. I'm not one of those artists that can paint like for a month. I'm not so patient, really. I would see so many mistakes, I think, in a painting that would take me so long that I think I couldn't stand to look at something like this. But with pencil crayons, it's not a very fast process. As you can see, I'm blending many colors, I'm trying, I'm making mistakes, I'm covering the colors with next layers of another colors. But yeah, I think I have patience for that because I can see the results also pretty fast. Maybe someday I will be able to paint also with watercolors or oils that I think take much more time. Okay, I'm still adding a lot of warm tones to this picture. I think it's much more interesting when you have very cool sketch underneath, under painting, and you're adding warm tones on top of it. It's a good balance. I think it's a nice contrast. Also, I think I'm adding this lime color to... I don't know how to explain that, but lime and orange, I think they would be on the opposite sides on the color wheel. So when I'm adding lime color on the top of warm color like orange, I think I'm making it less important in those areas. I think so. I'm not so good with color theory, but I think that's something like this. I like to make whites of the eyes a bit bluish, so this light blue crayon is good for that. I think I often use it. I think it's good also for hair here, because I erased a bit of this dark sketch, so I'm creating now the contrast between the warm tone of the face and dark hair, and I'm showing it with, you know, warm tone of the face and cool tone of the hair. So you don't have to always show the contrast by strong line or the value, but I also do it like right now, with contrast between warm and cool. And again, I'm not good with color theory, that's just something I do. I often draw neck too wide, so I often have to make it slimmer. Okay, now I'm adding the orange crayon, Spanish orange color, to emphasize the highlights on the lips. I like to add it, you know, like around the highlights. It makes them pop. Okay, now I'm adding a violet shadow that I saw on the reference actually. So basically I can see somehow that there is a slight tinge of violet on the skin tone, on the reference, but I just make it much stronger. It's kind of like with caricatures. You can see something and you draw it or paint it and in exaggerated way. So I think I do this with colors. I just see a little bit of green, or I imagine that I see it. I don't know, maybe sometimes I just imagine it. And I just take the crayon that is in exaggerated tone. A bit of a background. I like to add those like colorful sprinkles around the portraits. I don't know why. I like this effect. So basically I'm using the same colors as on the picture, but I don't blend them. They are just clear colors, and I add them as, you know, sprinkles on the background or on the clothing or something. Okay, here's something important. I'm using a light gray crayon to desaturate some parts of the drawing. I think it's very, very important. So I'm seeing that some parts of the drawing are too vivid, and I don't want all areas of the drawing to be important in the same way, because, you know, if everything is important, then you cannot focus on the painting. I'm just desaturating some parts to make other parts more vivid. I think this way the painting is much more interesting. Also, you can use this light gray crayon to blend some parts, like between two colors. While desaturating, you just blend them and they look more smooth on the painting. All the time I'm trying to say drawing, but it's a painting. Because those crayons are wax-based, you need to remember to not add too many layers, because they will create like a unpleasant waxy surface and they will be too muddy. So you just need to know when to stop and not add too many colors to one area, to not blend too much. But, you know, you just need to check it and practice and see what is too much. I can tell you this, but you need to, you know, check it to feel it. It's like with learning of everything, I think. I can explain you how to swim, but you have to just practice, try it and feel it, and at some point it just clicks, you know. Some parts of this painting are for me too warm, maybe, so I'm adding again light blue color to make them less warm. I really like the part of the eye right now that is like the thickness of the bottom eyelid, that it's very light and bluish. I think it looks very good. And also those long lashes are more visible because of that. Now I'm adding a very dark color to the pupils, and you can see how this dark value, this is olive green crayon I think, how this dark value makes those eyes pop. Like details will focus your sight on this part of the drawing. And I think she has a very strong gaze, and it's nice to emphasize that with, you know, dark value and more details. Recently I like to add those lines from lashes to the jaw. I think they show form of the cheeks very nicely. I'm just adding a few more details, and I'll try to sum up all the information, because I didn't take notes all the time while drawing, but I added them after the drawing, painting, damn it. And yeah, I will sum up at this right now. Okay, so now I'm going to just quickly sum up the tips that I wrote in here. So I made this first quick sketch with light aqua, and as you can see, it's visible as underpainting under the whole piece, so it all has like a cool light turquoise vibe. The second layer of the sketch was with this one, mulberry, so yeah, it's also kind of visible everywhere. Pink was the color that I used to blend the skin, and I think that I blend the skin mostly with warm tones, usually. You can see here rose, I mean pink, because it's in two languages. Pink, pale vermilion, Spanish orange, and orange. Yeah, I usually blend those to have a warm skin tone, but also, as you can see here, for example, I made a little bit of greenish tone that I saw on the reference. This one is, for example, here, so it was a stronger shadow in this area, and it was kind of like this lilac shade. So it's blended also with those warm tones, so it's not just a pure color. You need to always blend and mix colors to you know, achieve the shade that you want to have on your picture. I made some darker details with Tuscan red and with this olive green, so these are those two, and yeah, they are like on the eyelashes, on the pupils, eyebrows, some parts of the hair. Here is the part of the shadow, so also parts of the hair. So yeah, it creates depth and more dimensionality in your drawing, because it's like a you know, softer pencil. To paint lips, I used this pale vermilion in some parts, orange as well, and if I want to those lights to pop up more, to be, you know, more vivid, I just outline this part with, you know, more orange, orange Espanol color for in this example, because more vivid color will be closer to you. Also if it's warm. So yeah, it's warm and it's vivid, so it pops up. You know what I mean. Make the light here to stand out more. Some cool lights, as you can see here, I made some cool lights with this, not this one, with this one, this sky blue light. So I didn't want this part to be very warm or just like an empty hole. I often do, but here I wanted to create more cool tone of the drawing, so I made this part also with this sky blue light color. I bought it as a single crayon. It wasn't in my default color palette, but yeah, I like it. Also, very important thing is that I used light gray. It's 30% French gray, but you can use anything you like. I used it to desaturate some colors, because if I didn't, the portrait would be like I say it, like a clown face. It's too vivid, too rainbowy, and yeah, I just like to desaturate some parts that are in the shadow, for example here or here, yeah, here even, yeah. So just don't leave all the colors from the crayons as they are. Some should be desaturated, some parts like in the shadows, and some will, yeah, be like that, very vivid. Another tip that I wrote here is to create transitions between the colors. So for example, here I have very warm tone, like this and like this, and here I have this cool lilac color, and between them I used something, I think it was turquoise, to create more smooth transition. I think it looks more interesting when you create something like this. And here you can see the example. This is orange, this is violet, and there is like a yellowish or light orange color between them, and it creates nice blending. I don't like to blend colors too much. I like to show that they are here, but yeah, it creates like more smooth gradient. Sometimes I like also create an outline, as you can see here, for example, from two colors. So yeah, there is a like pink outline, and I add also a turquoise line here, or here you can see this also. I like this effect. So yeah, I think that's all. If you have any more questions, let me know. I hope it cleared up a little bit my process. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye!